Hi, my name is Paul Greenberg. I'm a language enthusiast from Toronto on an amazing journey with Anishinaabemowin.
Hi, I'm Isadore Toulouse, also known as Niswe Andeguk in my Anishinaabe name, which means three crows. And I am a specialist in Anishinaabemowin for the last 40 years.
We decided to create Paul and Isadore Living Anishinaabemowin to share our ongoing dialogue about and in the language with you all. We release episodes regularly and we hope that you enjoy watching it as much as we enjoy making it. If you think that what we are doing is worthwhile and should be seen by others, please hit the like button below. That's how we get seen. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the exciting things we have in store, please be sure to subscribe below. Make sure to turn notifications on so that you will know when we upload a new episode. Kachimigwech. All right, welcome to Paul and Isadore Living Anishinaabemowin, episode 8.
Wow.
Ani Isadore.
Ani Paul, Anishinagegi.
Nishin Migwech. Gindash.
Oh, migo nasa, migo beijo ko lang. Still the same. Migo beijo ko lang.
Nishin. Okay, let's start. We've got a lot of really cool stuff to talk about today. I have a question for you. I also will be doing the dialogue with Bev, although this week we don't have a message from her, but we'll focus on my messages to her. And then we're going to do a whole thing on food, which I'm kind of excited about. So let me start with my question to you. So I'll pull that up. And the question, this is actually something I've been wondering, sort of big picture, Turtle Island, and frankly, even beyond, if we go further south. But, if I imagine back, before the Europeans arrived, the settlers arrived, my understanding is that there may have been upwards of 100 million people living in Turtle Island, lots of different cultures, languages, etc. And so I just wonder about the relationships. So the simple question is, in your experiences, besides Ojibwe and Potowattomi, which of course are part of with Odawa Anishinaabemowin, but also Cree, which I believe has some similarities, are there other languages you've encountered where you thought, oh, that word sounds kind of familiar, or some of the, the language sounds familiar to you?
Yeah, there are because the language itself, the main umbrella of the language is the Algonquin language. From the Algonquin, you're going to have different stems of different languages. So here we have Anishinaabemowin, or we have Ojibwe, we have Odawa, we have Potowattomi, we have Cree, we have Micmac, we have Blackfoot, we have Suto, we have Sioux, we have I would say hundreds of different languages that fall under that stem of the Algonquian language. So from that stem, the Algonquin language will consist of different words that are similar in these strands of languages. So there are similar words that each of these groups will use that are similar, stemming from that Algonquin language.
Okay, and so to get an idea, the languages like the Anishinaabemowin we've been talking about with Ojibwe, Odawa, Potowattomi is sort of Ontario, Michigan kind of area, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Wisconsin, Minnesota. And then Cree would be further north, but then also really taking you kind of west, right? Out into the
Cree,
prairies.
northern Cree, northern Quebec.
Okay. Oh, that far
Manitoba,
east. Okay. Yeah.
Alberta.
Okay. And then Micmac even goes further east, right? Out to
Micmac goes further east, right?
Okay. And then past Cree, so if you start to get into it's weird for me to use names that are like, the settler geography, but, like Alberta, British Columbia, out that way, would you still find sort of commonalities, or does that...
Yeah, you would still find the commonalities within the Blackfoot language.
Okay.
They would have similarities of our Anishinaabemowin words that they would have.
And is it like a handful of words, or if you heard someone speaking, you could kind of get a sense of what they're talking about?
If I heard someone speaking, I would get a sense of what they're talking about.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and what about going further south?
Going further south, it would get a lot more difficult because you're
Mm,
looking at the Cherokee languages, which is
mm,
closer to the Algonquin. I mean, which is closer to the Iroquoian languages.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm not sure if they're related, but
Mm,
there's some words that they would use that are the same. So maybe they
mm.
are related.
Okay. And then I've also heard that at least linguistically, although Mohawk geographically is close, it's quite different,
Oh,
right?
it's very different.
Just
It's
completely
very
different.
different. Yes.
Yeah.
For example, I studied Mohawk in university,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
the difference with when we say Bejik Nish
Mm-hmm,
Niswetni with Nanan,
mm-hmm.
they say Onska Digni Asa Kayeri Whisk Ayak Charak Chatek blah 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 blah.
No relation at all.
No relation at all.
That's
No
interesting
relation.
because I do recall I was sort of poking around a little bit on YouTube, and I came across some videos in Micmac,
Hmm.
and I do recall hearing the counting, and there were at least one or two that sounded similar. That
Hmm.
I do recall.
Hmm.
I don't remember now sort of how to count to 10, but I remember when I was listening, I was like, oh, it's kind of sounds familiar. I mean,
Hmm.
not exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah, but there are similarities in the
Mm,
language of the Micmac language.
hmm. Interesting. Okay, cool. So you studied Mohawk,
I
and
studied Mohawk for a couple of years at university. Yes.
okay, and have you studied any other languages besides Anishinaabemowin?
Nope.
No.
That was my extent.
Okay. Are there any that sort of you're curious about or interested in, or?
Well, I'm very curious in the Latin, like the Spanish language.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
can teach you that. I speak Spanish.
Yeah. Most a lot of my friends are from Argentina and the Latino communities
Oh, okay.
in southern Brazil and all that. So I
Okay.
just love hearing them speak.
Okay. Well, we should start another podcast. We can do
Yeah.
that.
All right.
All right. Well, let's go forward. So we're gonna do the discussion in the language with Bev. So the first thing I'm going to do is play my message to her last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do that, and okay, see if I can get above my 97% from last week.
Ani Bev, ni minjimendan lui mishkoked manda pi. Gewigo man pi bangi gigimewan. Bojdash wigo anoe minagizgad. Taga giabe anand mizinchigansag benindawen. Nahao bama.
You're silent.
Okay. Sorry. 98. I give you 98.
98%. Okay, awesome. Okay, well, let's keep it going. So, as I mentioned, we don't have a message from Bev this week, but this is a short and sweet one that I'm going to send to her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's not too pushy, but I do want to get some pictures from her. So, what I'm going to say translates to "Hello, Bev. I've been very busy, or been busy lately, but it would still be good to get those pictures from you. Thank you. Okay, later." So, can I ask you to read that, and then I'll use that as a model?
Yeah, sure. Ani Bev. Abjigwa ningindam ta. Boch dashgo danishin jibininda wiyin geo mzinchigansak. Migwech. Nahabama.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Isadore. I will use that and do my best.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move to fun with words. And as I say, we've got a lot of stuff to go through, which I'm excited about. Before we dive into the food, though, in our last couple of episodes, I've been telling you that I've been getting not mixed up, but I've been hearing words that are sort of describing everyone or lots of people, and I'm kind of hearing different ways of expressing it. So I decided to go back through all our episodes, and I pulled it all into one slide here.
Right.
And I thought we could just talk about sort of this. So at least in my mind, I can kind of clarify, So I do realize that one of the things I was in my mind getting mixed up was between everyone and lots of people. So that seems to be pretty clear. So everyone
Right.
is kind of unequivocally kina, right?
Right.
And there's no ambiguity about that.
hmm
But the one thing I want to ask you, so you can see in episode 4 and episode 6, we had those. For episode 6, though, the one that is kina waya, can you just remind me what the waya is doing there?
If we were to say woya means somebody.
Okay.
So in this case, when we're saying kina woya, we're encompassing everybody.
Got it.
Kina woya, including that kina. Woya would just mean woya by itself says someone. Woya. But when we say kina woya, it becomes everybody, everyone involved. Kina woya.
Okay. And is that sort of an emphasis? Like could she have said in that case, taga window? Oh, sorry, this is actually what I said to her. But could I have said taga windamo ani kina hode?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that would suffice.
Okay.
Tagawin mo kina ani ode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that one's clear. But let's talk about the next three. So we have the first one, which I remember, was where she was talking about cutting up the bread for people in the Little Current.
Mm-hmm.
And she used the expression for there were a lot of people, nibana gi chiwak.
Right.
But then in the episode 6 and episode 7, for there were a lot of people, she used gi batinwag and then also batinwag. So
Right.
I'm assuming these are just sort of two different ways of saying the same thing, but maybe you could just talk about them a little bit and
Yes.
when
All
you
right.
might use one or the other.
So if we were to say Nibnaginchog, meaning there were a lot of people, Nibnaginchog,
Hmm.
and then but you can also use the same in that same terminology. You can also use Gibatinwog, meaning which means the same thing. There were a lot of people.
Mhm.
Nibnaginchog and Gibatinwog.
Mhm.
So there's no really distinction on each of those two, and you can use them either or.
Okay, so they're interchangeable.
Interchangeable, yes.
All right, so just maybe a couple of questions just to dig into it. So the nibana I know means or I shouldn't say I know. I believe it means a lot of, right?
Right, a lot of.
A lot of. And then the gi is the past tense. So the chiwak is that is like that is to be a lot of people, or what does chiwak mean exactly?
Yeah, that is Nibnachog. Nibnachog. I wonder what that word chi comes from. Nibnachog. The wog makes it plural.
Right. Okay.
But what does that Nibnachog? That needs to be looked at. That needs to be
Okay.
researched by me.
Okay.
I don't know where that chiwog means, but obviously I know that it means there's a lot of people. I'm
Okay.
looking outside, and you ask me how many people are there, and I say, "Oh, chiwog. It's 20 people. chiwog, or batin wog. There's a lot of people."
Okay, so same question for the batin wog. So I know again the wog makes it plural, but is there anything in that word batin that would reveal?
Batin. Again, same thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. If I said batin dun, there are a lot of inanimate objects. Batin dun.
Okay.
Okay. And batin wog is there are a lot of animate objects.
Got it.
Batin wog and batin dun.
Okay. Okay. So for the moment, chiwag, batin wog are two words that basically mean the same thing.
Right.
So could she, for instance, in sorry, that should be episode. Oh, I don't remember which episode. But anyway, the one in the middle.
Mhm.
Could she have said zam nibana gi batinwag instead of nibana gi chiwag?
She wouldn't need nibna. She would just say zamgi batin wog.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Okay. Zamgi batin wog. And that means that there was a lot of people. And when she says because zam gibatinwog, because there was a lot of people. Zam
Okay.
gibatinwog.
Okay. What if? Okay. So then maybe here's another question. What would it mean if she had said "zam gichuak" ode? If she did not use the nibana? Bless you.
It would not be proper.
Okay.
She would not say that.
Okay. So in the case of chuak, you need to have the nibana.
Right. And I'm just thinking of another one. You could say nibana giyawog.
Okay.
There were a lot of people.
Got it.
Nibana giyawog.
Right. And the ya in that case is there are, right? Like to be.
Ya is he or she is there.
Is there. Yeah.
And the
Okay.
wog makes it plural.
Got it. Okay. Okay. That's helpful. But now this will help me because I remember I kept thinking when I saw Batinwag, I was like, I know there's another way that she said it differently before. So
Right.
now I can see them together. Okay, thank you. That's helpful. All right, shall we talk about some food?
Sure.
Okay. So first, what we'll do is we've pulled together food groups. So we'll talk about those and what they mean. And then for each food group, we'll dive into specific examples. So for the food groups, I'll maybe ask you to read them.
So we have the first one here, manwang. Manwang. These are fruits.
Okay.
Manwang.
Okay. And as I always do, I'm just going to ask you if there's anything in this word that would sort of help.
Yeah, that would help distinguish what is the
Yeah.
fruit part of it.
Don't know.
Manwang. Manwang. I could not tell you where that word comes from.
Okay. And then
Manwang.
what I'm going to do actually from now on is I'll ask you two questions. One is there anything in the word? And then the second is are there any examples that come to mind where that word is used in a way that might be memorable beyond just meaning fruit?
Right.
Like, is it used in expressions or?
Yeah, we could say manwang mijda, meaning let's eat fruit. Manwang mijda. Or manwang ngamijin, I will eat fruit. Manwang ngamijin.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And then we have netauging. Netauging. And that one's an easy one. Netauging comes from vegetables, and it's stuff that is grown easily.
Okay.
Netauging. And it grows sporadically or grows abundantly. Netauging.
Okay, so what in that word is the part about growing, or is there like a word to grow that's in here, or?
If I said ntauge means he or she is growing well. Ntauge, meaning tauge ninguis, my son is growing well. Ntauge.
Okay. Wow, that's very vivid. So it's this idea of these plants or vegetables that are just growing out of the earth.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Mnoomin. And that is mina. Again, the good seed. Mina.
I love that. I love that word, Mnoomin. So the good seed. And do you know why it's called that? Like it clearly to have that name, it must have been is a very important grain, right?
Because it is the seed that grows abundantly, that brings food to us. Mnoomin.
Okay.
Same with the word corn. Mandamin. And coming from the wonder seed. Manda.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's go to the next one.
All right, and then we have wheat. Oh, sorry, what?
I've got those mixed up. Okay, we'll reverse that after. But anyway, yeah. So this is wias. Sorry.
Wias, yes.
Yeah.
Wias. Meat. Wias.
Okay.
Wias. Can't think of a word for where that would have originated from.
Okay.
Wias.
And then?
And then Dodo Shabung Eben Zikamagok.
Mhm.
Eben Zikamagok. Dodo Shabung. That which comes from a milk product.
Okay, so let's dig into the word dodosh abo, because I see the word abo, which we've had as liquid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And dodosh?
Dodosh comes from the breast.
Got it.
Dodosh.
So breast liquid, essentially.
Breast liquid, right.
Okay, and then so the a b is basically to come from, right?
Right. Yes.
And then the and then the bin zikamagok, that what is that whole word?
Eben Zika. Ebe is the form where it comes from.
Right.
The Zikamagok tells you that it is a continuum of where it comes from. Eben Zikamagok.
Okay, and then the ng at the end of dodosh abong makes it a locative because
It makes it the locative, right?
locative from it. Okay, okay, fantastic. So let's now look at some examples of each of these. So first, we're going to do manwang, fruits.
Mm-hmm. So we have mishimin. Now, in many cases, the apple is classified as an animate object. It's a living object. Mishimin maba.
Mhm.
Maba. Maba is used as a person. For example, if I wanted to introduce Paul, I would say Paul Maba.
Mhm.
Paul would introduce me and say Isadore Maba.
Mhm.
And then he could be holding an apple, Mishimin Maba.
Mhm.
Mishimin Maba.
Okay, so one thing that I think we're going to see a lot is, so we just had Mnoomin
Mm-hmm.
for the grains or the rice, and the min, as you've told me before, is like a seed, or is it only like a seed or a kernel or something,
Right.
or like a berry even?
Yeah.
So in this case, we have the min. So the mishi, does that mean anything? Mishi min?
Mishimin. Yeah. And
Uh,
I'm not sure. Mishimin. Yeah. Couldn't tell you.
okay. All right. Well, it's some type of seed.
It's some type of seed, right?
Okay.
Mishimin.
Okay. And then I have a big question about this one, but I'll have you read that one.
All right. And this is Wigwasmin.
Okay.
Wigwasmin. Wigwasmin manda. Again, I don't know why it has birch bark related to it, because the word wigwas is birch bark.
Right.
Wigwasmin.
Yeah. That's
And
my big
that
question.
might have been your question.
That is my question. That is my question. But actually, okay. So
Oh, just wait. Maybe Pat has a comment.
oh, okay.
So Pat is saying because the cherry tree almost looks like the birch tree.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So wigwasmin.
Yeah, that's right. I guess the bark is a little darker, but it has that same pattern, right?
Right.
As the birch bark.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All
Yeah,
right,
because
way to go.
this is one that I've wondered a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Miskumin. Miskumin. Miskumin maba, meaning it's an animate object and it's the raspberry. And the
Okay.
misko comes from the red.
Red. So in this case, the min is the berry, so it's a
Yes.
red berry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we have bigesan. Bigesan maba, that would be the plum.
Mm-hmm.
Bigesan.
Okay. And anything in Bigesan? No. Okay.
No, I just think of this little old lady in Wiki. Her name was Bigesan.
Okay. Was that a nickname or her actual name?
That was her name, Bigesan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plum. Lady Plum.
Lady Plum. That's a very nice name. Okay.
All right. And then Jomin. Jomin. Jomin Manda.
Okay.
Jomin.
And that can be, if I understand correctly, grape or raisin, right?
Yes, grape or raisins.
Okay. And so this one is inanimate, but I want to just highlight, and this is something personally I find interesting, that depending on who you talk to, sometimes something could be inanimate or animate, right? It's
right.
not
The different communities will have it animate.
right. This one, right? The Jomin Maba. It could be.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then also, this is where we saw, I don't remember which episode it was, but when we did the one on colors, the word for purple,
Right.
Jominande.
Jominande.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And the next, Ozauminagan. Ozauminagan manda. Ozauminagan. Meaning it's the shape. Ga. Okay? Ozauminagan. The round shape. The orange rounded shape.
Okay. So I understand that it's the Zao. Zao is the orange part, orange or
Right.
brown or yellow, right?
Mhm.
And then is the min in the middle there the same thing? The
Same
seed
thing
or
as
the
each of those one. Mishimin,
min? Okay.
Wigwasmin, Miskumin, Jomin,
Okay.
Ozaumin.
And then the gang is a circle, like a spherical
The
shape.
ga is the makes it the round shape.
Okay. And does that gan show up on its own or in other words?
I think it's only in that word.
Only in that word? But
Yeah.
you know in that word that's what it means.
Yeah, and that's what that means. It's round.
Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
Just out of curiosity, how would you say a circle?
Woya.
Okay.
Woya.
And what about like a ball or a sphere or something of that shape?
Kwakud.
Guakud.
Kwakud or Woyejia.
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 Okay. All right. So we should actually do something on shapes another time. But okay, interesting. So in this case, it's basically the yellow seed round thing, right?
Right.
Orange, I mean.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And then we have Minan. Minan Ninda. Ninda, because it's the
Okay.
plural form,
Mhm.
Ninda,
Okay.
of
All right.
inanimate objects.
Okay. And then so min is the singular.
Min would be the berry.
And so you would say, if it was singular, you'd say min manda.
Right. Min manda.
Okay. And min is, I guess, a word we've seen. So the word for blue, right, is minande.
Right. Minande, the color of a blueberry.
Okay. And then I think we also had a month.
Yeah. Min Gizis would be
Min
July.
Gizis, right? Okay.
Yes.
Last one, which is one of my favorites. I love this word. I love this word.
Odemin. Odemin. Manda,
Mhm.
which comes from the heartberry. Ode.
Mhm. Okay, cool. All right, let's go on to Netauking.
Gis manda. Gis. And that is a turnip.
Okay.
Gis. And why it's called gis, I have no idea.
Okay.
I just know it's a gis.
Okay, but actually what I do like is this next one, which is related to it.
Gises. So yes, I don't know how they're related, but we know gises is a small carrot.
Mhm.
The s makes it small. So why is gis a turnip nowhere related to a carrot?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I guess. I mean, they sort of look similar, right?
I don't think so.
But I guess technically this means like a little turnip, right? For a carrot.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Mnoomin maba.
Mhm.
Mnoomin, meaning this is corn. Mnoomin.
Okay. And so a moment ago you were talking about the word Mendaumin, right? So the Mandao means
Manda is something, the wonder. Manda, like something with excitement. It's amazing. So this is the amazing, the wonder seed.
I mean, to be able to live in a world where you can eat Mnoomin and Mandaumin,
Right.
it sounds like wonder food, you know? Just
Right,
amazing. Yeah. Wow, that's super cool. So clearly, as you said, it's plentiful, but there's also probably qualities of corn and rice that were recognized, you know, to come up with those names. Okay.
And then we have Pinik. Pinik Gonda. Pinik.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. One is this is plural, right?
Yes, these are plural.
So what would a singular be for potato?
Pin.
Just pin. Okay.
Pin.
And then what's the difference? And in Gwanda, that's inanimate still, right?
No, that's animate.
Oh, that's animate. Oh, that's
Yes.
why. Okay.
If I
got it.
said Ninwag Gunda, these are men. Kwewag Gunda, these are women.
Okay.
Gukushag Gunda, these are pigs. So Pinik Gunda, these are potatoes.
Okay.
So Pin Maba, this is a potato.
Got it. Okay. And then at the bottom there?
Jigangwish. Jigangwish Maba. Jigangwish.
Okay, so tell me about this word.
Jigangwish comes from a smelly form of an object. Jigangwish.
Okay. So this is interesting because I want to ask, is this related in any way to the word for skunk?
Yeah, jigog. Again,
Right?
the skunk is smelly. Jigog.
I see.
Jigangwish.
So the point here is that in that jiga or jigak is the notion that it's smelly.
Right.
Okay. Because I heard at one point that the reason was that skunks eat leeks in the forest, and that's what creates the smell that they make, and that's the relationship. But what you're saying sounds more plausible to me, actually. Sounds like it makes more sense.
Well, yours makes sense also. I mean, it would fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I will say this actually is that in my mind, until I learned the word for skunk and onion, if coming from English or other languages I speak, I'd never connected the two. But this is the interesting power of language, which is forever now I cannot think about onion without thinking about skunk, and vice versa. Like there's sort of a relationship between them now.
Right.
For me.
So if I was to say to you, Paul, esna gdu jagag magus. Gdu jagag magus. What am I saying?
Well,
Gdu jagag magus.
Oh, you're stinky.
Yeah, you smell like a skunk.
Oh, okay. You smell like a skunk. Okay.
Magus.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're stinky. You smell like a skunk.
Skunk. And the thing is, actually, but you also emphasized it, so I'm offended because you said esna at the beginning.
Oh,
right.
Just
like you really smell like a skunk, right?
You really smell like a skunk.
Okay. All right.
Good thing these new computers are equipped with smell sensory.
Exactly. Okay, so next one.
All right, next are Miskudisminak. Miskudisminak. And there's that Gwanda again because these are animate objects. Miskudisminak, meaning the red bean.
Okay, so I want to ask you. So the misko is red. I get that. And the min is like the seed or the
seed,
the
berry.
thing. And so that dis in the middle, what is that?
Yeah, I'm wondering what that is. Miskudisminak. Miskudisminak. Yeah, I don't know what the dis would be.
Okay. But actually, I'm trying to remember because if we were to remove it, then we're basically back to raspberry, right?
That would be a raspberry. Yes, miskomanuk.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Wow, you're full of it tonight.
Full of something good or something bad?
Full of knowledge.
Okay. All right. So next one. Yeah. And actually, by the way, I'm just going to, before we leave this, so I understand that miskodis minak is bean, right? And then that is the misko. But if you were to talk about any bean, would you still say miskodis?
You would still say miskodis minak, yes. Okay. Though they are not all red.
Right. So if you had like black beans or white beans, doesn't matter. Okay.
Or the yellow beans.
Yellow beans.
Or the magic beans.
Magic beans. Okay.
Green beans.
So actually, if that's the case, would magic bean be something like mandau muscodis?
Yeah, you would make it that mandau muscodis min.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that would be the magic bean.
Magic beans. Okay. So
smoke it.
Well, those are magic mushrooms, right? All right. So the next one.
Kusman.
Hmm.
Kusman manda. Kusman.
Okay.
Again, I'm not sure where that word would have derived from. Kusman.
Okay. But something interesting from this that we've seen in the past is that my understanding is that originally the zao was to describe brown, yellow, orange, but then more recently there's the word kosmanande, right?
Okay, right.
For orange,
Right.
right? Okay.
Hmm.
And then this one here.
There's your yellow, there's your green peas.
Okay.
Minijimin manda.
Okay.
Minijimin.
Okay. And so the miniji is
But that minijimin, I'm not sure
okay.
what
Okay.
something good again. Minna.
Oh, mina. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Minijimin.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
A good kissing.
Right. Because in canoe, right? Jima.
Yeah.
Jim. Oh yeah. Mina Jim.
Yeah,
Okay.
minijim.
That's interesting. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. This is like going on like an archaeology expedition or
Right,
something,
yes.
digging into these words. That's really cool. Okay. All right, shall we go on?
Sure, let's go on.
Okay, so we've got meat, and sorry for reversing these, but we're doing we us. Okay.
Next, we have gigon maba. Gigon. This is a fish. Gigon.
Okay.
Again, no idea where that word gigon or why it's called a gigon.
Okay.
Bakakwen.
Okay.
Bakakwen.
I think I know where. I was going to say, I think I know where that word comes from.
It comes from the sound the
sound,
chicken
right?
makes. Yeah. Bak,
Yeah.
Bak, 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 bak,
Bakakwe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wawanun. Wawanun ninda. Wawanun.
Okay.
Again, I'm not sure where the word would have derived from. Wawanun.
Okay. But in this case, so this is inanimate, right?
Ninda. Yes.
Right?
Ninda.
And so for the singular, is it wawan?
Manda. Manda.
Manda.
Manda.
Okay. Okay, and then at the top?
Washkeshe. Washkeshe. Now you see it as written as washkeshe, but the sound is washkeshe. Washkeshe.
Okay, and I've sometimes seen it with instead of the W, just like an apostrophe, right?
Right. Yes. Washkeshe. Wias manda.
Okay, so that seems like, I don't know if you know, but I would imagine there's something in that word, right? The wawash keshe. Is there anything?
Yeah, I don't know where that word would have come from. Also, washkesh.
Okay, but in this case, we're talking about the meat of it, the wias.
Yes.
So if we were to talk about just a deer, I presume we would say wawash keshi maba, right?
Yes, maba.
Right.
Maba.
Okay, then?
And then we have mizisse. Mizisse maba. This is a turkey. Mzisse.
Okay. Anything in that word, or just means turkey?
I remember hearing something regarding the mizeh, and I'm not sure what I heard, but
okay,
we'll leave that for another episode.
Okay.
Moose wias manda. Again, English word adopted. Anishinaabe word adopted by the English. Moose.
Yeah. And I was going to say, this type of thing I find so exciting because it's one of these ones where I've been saying the word moose my whole life growing up here. And I had never any idea at all that it came from Anishinaabemowin.
Right.
And there's lots of words like that, which especially place names. But also things like, what was one I was just thinking of? Well, like, for example, totem. dodem,
Right. So
which
them.
I had, or moccasin mizikan.
Uh-huh.
Mikizinan. Sorry, mikizinan, right?
Yes, coming from that is changed to moccasin.
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 Okay. All right, let's go on.
We should do that. We should do that at one of the episodes, place names.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. By the way, so this is the thing I want to do with you. I actually think about this every week. In our pilot episode, we did the map of the Great Lakes. That was so amazing. I want to do that, but much bigger. Like, let's go all over. And I remember even when I was up in Wikwemkong, and Bev was telling me names for like Sudbury or Killarney or like all these places that everyone just sort of knows in English. And I'm like, of course there's names in Anishinaabemowin for these places.
Right.
So yeah, I really want to do that with you. Okay, so next one.
All right, we have Bijike Wias. Bijike Wias. And that one I know where Bijike comes from.
Okay.
It comes from Bejik Eke, that one earth. Bejik Eke. And that one earth, that cow patty that comes from the behind, it goes back into the earth, and we use that as fertilizer. Bejik Eke.
Wow. Okay, that's like super deep. Okay, I want to just digest that for a moment, because I also recall, we don't have it on here, but the word for horse, what was that again?
Yes, it's Bejigaji.
Okay, in that case.
Bejigaji. And our fingernail, or our nails that we have, is called shkaj. Shkaj. And the hoof is a gaji. Bejigaji. So with the one hoofed.
One hoof.
Bejigaji.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I gotta like let that Bejiki one sort of digest in my system. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Bejik Eke. One earth.
And then I think it was on our previous episode we had the Shkode Bejiki.
Yeah, Shkude Bejike.
The
Prairie
fire
cow.
the prairie cow. Okay, and then?
And then we have Biganag. Biganag Gunda. Meaning these are nuts.
Okay.
Biganag.
And does this basically describe all types of nuts?
This describes all types of nuts, yes.
Okay.
Bagan would be a nut, one nut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything
Don't take offense if I call you Bagan.
Listen, you already called me a skunk, so I mean, how much worse can it get?
How worse can it get, right?
So is there anything in Bigan that
Bagan, I would think the more of a hard shell.
Okay.
Bagan.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. So Biga. Is there anything, because you were telling me, I believe, Mikanak was also for turtle. Weren't you saying that that's also talking a bit about the shell?
Yeah. Mikanak would be the shell of the turtle.
Okay, but is the shell in this case Biganak? There's no relation in those words at all.
No relation. The
No
AK
relation.
makes it plural.
Okay, got it. Okay, so let's go on to Mnoomin.
All right. Mnoomin. Again,
Okay.
Mnoomin.
Okay.
The good seed, the good grain.
Yeah.
So we have Bikwejagan. Bikwejagan manda. Bikwe means that you're going to break or cut in half. Bikwe kadan. Bikwe bedun. Bikwe. All right. So that bikwe tells you you're breaking it, you're cutting it. Bikwe kadan. Okay.
Okay. So this is specifically sliced bread.
This is specifically sliced bread.
Okay. How would you just say bread?
I mean, just any kind of bread. We would just use bikwejagan because
Also, okay.
Those not sliced.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and then and we're actually going to come to this after. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So Mnoomin manda.
Yeah, Mnoomin manda. Mnoomin again. This is the rice. Mnoomin.
Okay, and then we have
Wabe Mnoomin. This is the white rice. Wabe Mnoomin, coming from the white wabe. Wabishka.
For white. Okay.
Nenabagan. Nenabagan manda.
Okay. Okay, so I'm wondering, is that ga at the end the same as ozamin gang?
That would be the same, yeah.
So
Nenabagan. Ozalminagan.
okay.
Nenabagan. They do sound the same.
But maybe it's different. Is in this case, is it maybe bagan as opposed to just the gang?
Nenabagan. Baga. Baga. Hey, maybe. Baga. Baga means it's flat.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes more sense, right?
Right.
Okay.
Nenabaga. Bashgizigan.
Mhm.
Bashgizigan. Popcorn.
Okay.
Now we use bashgizigan also as a gun.
A gun to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That same word.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, but we also had when we were doing the months time, the blooming month. Was it?
Wabguni?
Was it June? I'm trying to remember.
Wabguni?
No. We had one where you were talking about the blooming. The
Oh, but
am I imagining something?
Well, November is Bashkakudingizis.
Okay.
And that's when the earth starts to crumble up because of it gets frozen.
Yeah.
So Bashkakudin, it starts
Okay.
to crack.
Well, what's the word for a flower blooming?
Wabguni.
What am I thinking of? There's a word we had.
Yes, you're thinking of Bashkabguni. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Bashkabguni, meaning they're also blooming.
Yeah.
Wabguni and Bashkabguni. Bashkabguni means they're in fully bloom.
Okay. And so it's that bashki at the beginning. It's sort of like the opening or the exploding.
The opening, yes.
Okay. All right.
And then we have Basdangak. Basdangak, that would mean the fine grainy stuff like sand. Basdangak.
Okay, so and that's that first word, right? The basadangak.
Yes, Basdangak is the first word that tells you it's a grainy, sandy something, bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
Up to the Bisadanga, like very small pieces of it.
Okay. And then bekwejagan, the same. It's basically
Question
coming
is the
from
bread, right?
Bread. So does that basadangak, does that only show up in this form when it's talking about flour, or would you have other words talk about something grainy that would use that?
Basadangak. Well, you can use it for sand.
Mm-hmm.
Basadangak ke. Grainy sand.
Okay.
Zitagan Basadangak.
Okay.
Zizbakwud Basadangak.
Okay. So that's salt.
Zitagan is salt and Zizbakwud is sugar.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the last one.
All right. Dodo Shabung Eben Zikamaguk. Dodo Shabung Eben Zikamaguk. Things that are derived from milk.
Okay.
So Dodo Shabu Manda. Dodo Shabu.
Okay.
And then we have Meshko Singh Magan Manda. Meshko Singh is something that is sturdy, hard, really thick. Okay, Meshko Singh.
Okay.
Magan.
And what's the magan?
Magan is the cheese part.
Okay, I see. All right, so it's okay, understood. And mishkauzing, does that show up in any other words or phrases that you're aware of?
Mishko Singh. Yeah, you can use that as anything that is a tightly covered cap. It would be Mishko Sin.
Okay.
Meshko Sing. Okay.
Meaning what you're saying, like one that's hard to open? Is that what you
Right.
mean by
That would be hard to open.
Okay.
Meshko Sin.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
your door could be hard to open. It's sealed tightly.
Oh, okay. So
Meshko
sort of
Sin.
like stuck or thick.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
you know.
Meshko Sing. Meshko Sing wasechgan. Meshko Sing Squandem.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So door or window, you were just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So Isadore, believe it or not, we have come to the end of the episode.
No way.
Yes. It's been amazing as always. And I look forward to the next one.
All right, miigwech, and sorry about today. I just had something that had popped up, and we had.
No. Listen, we are fluid. This is organic. It's natural. We go with the flow.
Right. Okay. Miigwech.
Yeah. Okay. Miigwech to you. Meanwhile, Bamapi.
Ahaw. Bamapi.
Okay. If you enjoyed this video and think that others should see it, please hit the like button below. All likes help us get seen by others. And of course, be sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all new episodes. Make sure to turn notifications on so that you will know when we upload a new episode. Miigwech.